I'm Megan.
I'm Peter.
I'm Erin.
And we are here to follow up on Ms. Henneby's presentation from yesterday addressing sexual misconduct. This is a really sensitive topic, so we will do our best to approach it with thoughtfulness and empathy.
While it's easy for us to separate ourselves from this issue at Taft when we don't feel personally attached to it, it's necessary that we recognize that this is a real and relevant problem here.
We are not here today to just give a few definitions and have everyone be on their way. This is a topic that needs to be addressed at length by our whole community so that you will walk away with a greater understanding of the life-changing impacts of sexual misconduct and how you can have a voice.
Next slide, please. Sexual misconduct is not a female problem, not just a male problem, and not just a heterosexual problem. This is an issue that is prevalent to all of us at Taft, and we must tackle this problem together as a community in order to foster and build healthier relationships with each other. Sexual misconduct can happen to and be perpetrated by both men and women, and can happen in straight couples and same-sex couples. Sexual misconduct occurs because of the perpetrator's misuse of power and control. Next slide. So 1 in 10 high school girls and 1 in 20 high school boys have been forced into unconsensual sex. This means that 15 guys in this room and 28 girls in this room will most likely come across a situation where they'll be forced into sex by an intimate partner. 9% of high school students are physically abused by a boyfriend or girlfriend. This means that 52 students in this room have either faced or will face and fall victim to physical abuse by an intimate partner. And also 23% of LGBTQ youth report instances of being sexually assaulted or sexual violence, which is unproportionately high compared to heterosexual youth. It is our duty to educate ourselves so that way we can prevent this issue and be prepared to respond when it does happen. I know that this topic is not normally talked about between men, but it is necessary that we recognize our responsibility and relevance in this issue. Too often do I hear throughout the hallways, throughout CBT, and throughout the lunchroom, after talks like this, how men are offended and then also feel like this does not pertain to them because they're not rapists. When in actuality, this is a problem that we all have to tackle together. Boys should not be scared to report instances of sexual violence when it pertains to them or someone else. And we as guys can be, need to be, and should want to be advocates for prevention.
At Taft, we use words like friendship, trust, and love. We use these words as the backbone of a community that we aspire to build. A community in which all individuals feel comfortable in their own skin. A community in which guys, girls, and faculty have healthy and happy relationships that bring out the best in each other. A community in which every single student has a voice. Right now, this is not our Taft, but it can be. Sexual misconduct breaks down the very sense of community that we strive to build. Victims are completely isolated from any feelings of comfort, stability, and normality. A community that once represented togetherness becomes one rooted in fear, because these individuals feel alone and broken. Taft is unique in the sense of its interconnectedness. We all live and function in such close proximity. And while we may feel a little too boxed in at times, this is what makes Taft special. This closeness allows Taft to grow as a community because we can build upon each other. Right now, all Tafties, regardless of gender, need to come together to address how sexual misconduct is a problem and how it cannot be ignored. Little things, small moments happen every day that fly under the radar. It has become so normalized for someone to see something and tell themselves, it's not a big deal, or I'm sure they're just friends. But can we really be sure? How can we truly know what these individuals are experiencing? Isn't it so much better to speak up regardless of the intent of those individuals involved? To be honest, it's a little disappointing and shocking to me that a place that I and so many others call home has also been a place where people have experienced sexual violence. And when it comes down to it, I cannot say that I've been the best possible friend and advocate that I can be. because I have been a bystander. Megan and Aaron are soon going to speak about their own personal experiences. I want all of you to remember how their stories make you feel. Remember the emotion and pain in their voices. Taft is better than this. We are better than this. And this is all of our responsibility. So let's be proactive. Let's speak up when we see something that doesn't seem right. And let's shape our Taft how we want it to be. There is a quote by Stephen Covey that my camp director often says that I think applies to the steps that we can take as a community. Next slide. Sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny.
As a lowerclassman, I went through my first case of sexual harassment at Taft. Over the course of 5.5 months, one boy with whom I've never actually had a conversation would sit next to me in class. On multiple occasions, he ran his hand up my thigh, rubbed my foot with his, and rubbed his foot up my leg, moving my dresses or skirts away in the process. I continuously moved away and tried to stop him, but it didn't stop. One day in class, he pushed me up against the whiteboard. He could have taken a step aside, but he did not. He held me against the wall, face to face, looked down my shirt, then into my eyes, and smiled. It felt like eternities passed. I couldn't move, and nobody in class seemed to notice except for me. I didn't tell anybody for months. During this experience, I journaled some of my predominant emotions. Underneath a headline saying, "You make me feel," I wrote dumb, ugly, afraid, little, silent, and like I'm unworthy of any attention besides yours. This was 15-year-old me. This was not my first, nor my only experience with sexual harassment in life, not even my only at Taft, but it led to serious repercussions with my well-being. It negatively altered the way I see myself, completely damaging my self-esteem, and no one can ever give me that back.
When I was 15, I was sexually assaulted on campus. I'm not going to go into any more detail because the details of that night's events are unimportant. What is important is the lasting effect it's had on me to be violated in a place that I call home. Someone I trusted stole my control and my body and my voice. I knew that something was wrong, but I didn't know what. I knew that I sometimes flinched even when my own boyfriend touched me. I knew that I couldn't really read the sex scenes in Beloved without crying. I knew that I could never wear those underwear again because they made me feel guilty and anxious and embarrassed. I struggled to speak about it for over a year afterwards, even to my closest friends, and I was not able to use the word rape until 2 weeks ago. But here's my truth. I was assaulted on campus, but I'm still me, and I'm still a badass, and I'm still gonna devote myself to making sure that this never happens again. We can do better. We don't have a choice.
But we didn't do better. This fall, it happened again. Erin and I had a shared experience with sexual harassment, and it hurt just as bad even 2 years later. The same emotions of helplessness and powerlessness flooded in, but this time we were angry, we were loud, and we decided to fully advocate for ourselves.
As young girls growing up in today's climate, we're taught that at places like Taft, the adults will help us. Instead, when we first brought our experience of sexual harassment to a teacher's attention, it was repeatedly implied to us that we were overreacting. We were told we were victimizing ourselves,
Making a big deal out of nothing.
and should have just said no.
Of course, these words were mistakes. None of the faculty members who said this to us meant to hurt us, but it hurt. To word it simply, the intent was not bad, but the impact was.
The truth is, under no circumstances is my honesty about my experience to be taken lightly. I'm not overreacting. I'm not being dramatic. I'm intentionally using strong language, such as harassment and assault, because the effects of these actions are really strong. My experiences have affected me emotionally, of course, but I want to express how else it has affected me to help you understand the severity of these cases so that no student's reality ever gets overlooked again.
At 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, we are too young to be fully self-advocating and self-preserving when it comes to our safety. When I ask for help, help me.
I don't want to miss any more classes. I don't want to respond to my parents, "How was your day?" by informing them of the 6 hours of meetings I sat in, begging for help from my teachers. I just want change, and I want it now.
The scars last longer than a few days or a few weeks. I do not know if when you touch me, you realize that lasting effect, but it is there, it is valid, and it prevents me from being able to be touched by anyone without flinching and without feeling like it's you. I do not know if you realize that this is the rest of my life.
We all make mistakes. We are not asking you to never touch and to never flirt, but we ask that if your actions result in someone else's discomfort, that you try and empathize with that person you've hurt.
This speech is not supposed to be an attack on anybody, and I hope nobody leaves feeling defensive, because the purpose is not to get defensive, it's to learn. If you know that you have made someone feel uncomfortable or unjustified, even if it was a mistake, acknowledge that and strive to do better. We are all learning, we are all growing.
The most disheartening and terrifying part of this talk is that while I'm standing up to be one face of this issue, I know that there are so many more of you here who share a story very similar to my own. I'm proud to call myself a Taftie. I'm also proud to call myself a survivor of sexual harassment and assault here on campus. What I ask of you as my fellow teachers and my fellow students is that you help me create a community in which I can be proud to call myself both simultaneously.
Sexual misconduct takes many forms. It's physically touching someone without consent, it's verbally sexualizing someone, it's editing or sharing a photo with the intent of sexualizing someone, and it's not okay. So for those of you who need to hear it, you are justified in your emotions, you have resources, you are strong. For a long time, I felt powerless, but we are reclaiming our power. We want to make a change so that future students do not have to go through what we have, do not have to scream at the top of their lungs to be heard.
To the faculty, the way I felt after reporting sexual harassment this fall at Taft was absolutely unacceptable. I had regrets. I wished I'd never spoken up in the first place. This cannot continue to be the case. We cannot continue to let people get away with sexual violence because the environment we live in makes it feel impossible to speak up. That is why we asked you for help, and that's why we demanded change. Faculty, thank you for listening. The work we've done with you is so important.
To students, we can now confidently promise you that when you speak up, people will listen. Because of the work we've done with the administration, here's what's going to change. First, administrators have met with DCF, the Department of Child and Family Services, and are continuing to be more informed on laws involving mandated reporting. Second, the school is going to establish a point person to whom all teachers will go with an incident of sexual harassment or assault rather than just handling it themselves because it's really hard to do. Third, we are actively pushing to make revisions to our handbook and procedure. And fourth, faculty are going to be more thoroughly trained on how to respond to a situation of sexual misconduct. Mrs. Traina is planning a faculty meeting addressing teacher responses soon.
So every case is different, but every case deserves attention.
Please take to heart what Mashad, Peter, Aaron, and I have shared today. You do have resources. Talk to your deans, talk to your advisors, talk to the counselors, talk to us.
Help us rise up.
Never assume consent.
Don't be a bystander.
And if someone comes forward to you as a victim, accept their emotions.
This is not a hypothetical.
This is ours and so many others' reality at Taft. Thank you.